Well, good morning, our beloveds. We are now moving into the month of September. September. What does that feel like, sound like? Something is hissing, letting off steam, reducing its energetic imprint, figuring out what makes it mad, striking when necessary. September is going to be a sassy, playful month, maybe spicy. You figure out what hidden messages are found within these words. It is ramping up. How many of you can feel the difference in the energetic imprint? The tightening of the noose is the best thing that we can say, though ancestrally that is a terrible phrase because many hold that trauma within their own body because of ancestors and what happened. But it is here again, isn't it? A form of genetic cleansing, genocide, killing off those who are useless eaters, those who have disabilities, those who are poor, those who have severe trauma. If you cannot participate in this economy from a capitalistic perspective, meaning that you are either being eaten or generating those who are being eaten. Capitalism is a power play, an imbalance of power. Yes, those who are more entrepreneurial and put in more effort can gather more grains and seeds off of the backs of their slaves, right? That's how you generate wealth, not only by your own input, but by the input of others, where it is the equivalent of slave labor, meaning you get to extrapolate, extradite. You get to take from others because they are not in a position of protecting their own interests. And when that capitalism power balance gets really out of whack, this is what it looks like. So how are the apples feeding you, right? The nut doesn't fall far from the tree, nor does the apple. So many of you feel like you're nuts, like you have lost your sense with reality because the world as you knew it, as you believed it to be, is no longer. But the question is then, was it ever that? If the power balance can be shifted so easily, that would tell you that the protective measures that you thought you had in place never really were. The mechanism is there in theory, but the people who are meant to uphold it aren't. And this is not a conspiracy theory. It's just evident by the facts right now. There is no rule of law. So what do you do about that? How do you go about fixing it? Who do you elect? Do you choose pitchforks? What is the appropriate solution? Another is to just step away, step outside of that power structure and build your own communities. Refuse to participate. And that doesn't mean don't pay your taxes and don't vote. Do the things that you think in that world will still support you. Find the best players. But also at the same time, with love, compassion, and gratitude, begin to build a new future. It is going to take time for these old structures and paradigms to die off. And if you completely walk away right now, unless it's all of you, you're going to have more of the same. So vote your political interest, not your personal interest. Vote your political interest, not one single issue, unless by chance it is whoever they appoint in the U.S. to the Supreme Court. That's what I'm going to vote for because those people are long-lasting and at the end of the day, uphold the rule of law or don't. So where are you and what do you want to build? And how do you want to help your neighbor who's next door, who is politically aligned differently, politically affiliated with a different mindset? The fact that The average person has such a vastly different perspective. It's not that you aren't the same and that you don't believe in the same things. It is your programming, it is your belief system, it is your trauma history. And then there's also your particular flavor and spiciness, your astrological imprint. What are you here to learn? What are you here to grow through? What are you here to experience? There's the North Node and the South Node and all those other things. Our another is not into astrology really, and so we will not be able to share that. Find what helps you to understand the world that you're in right now, but don't let it guide you and tell you what to do and how to live, because that is still living out of fear. Astrology is here to give you broad brush strokes, but similar to when you put into your GPS, which we just so love, a particular destination, you still have free will. If you're driving down the road and you say, squirrel, squirrel, you can pull off and go visit things that were not on the intended plan, the route. Live a little. Step outside of the paradigm and paragraph. You get to write your own chapters if you so choose, and then you can return to that same storyline or just start somewhere new, somewhere different. There is no reason why you can't build a new life and a new belief system. But just remember, your imprint, your ingrained belief system has taken a lifetime to get to here. And so don't expect that it's going to change overnight unless there is a particular ceremony where your soul decides it will clear the tables, cleanse the palate. But part of your journey is not to just push the reset button. Part of your journey is to learn and experience and explore why you have these belief systems. And if we just allowed you to reset, the learning that comes with walking away from harmful belief systems or reprocessing trauma is lost. When you see those around you who finally have karma bitch slap them and they get it and then they change their ways, don't you see the growth that that produces because they can no longer hide from the reality of the consequences of their actions? And it matters. So don't just sit there and sing mantras and chant. Actively do the work. When something comes up, go within and figure out, why does this trigger me? And what does my soul want right now? There's generally two things. And we started here years ago. You either need to set boundaries or you need to change who you are and you need to offer more grace. Those are the general two things. And so what you look at a minimum, and we say this with great love, if you're too fucking stupid and you just can't see what you can't see, look at what your natural inclination is to do. Is it to run or is it to fight? Right? Look at what your natural inclination is and what you have done for years, and just know whatever that is, that's the wrong thing. If you get aggressive and speak up and you're snarly and snarky, maybe this is a time for you to offer others grace and figure out what the hell is wrong with you, that you feel the need to be so mean and caustic. And if you shrivel up like a snail with salt, where you just make yourself so small because you're so fearful, well, maybe this is a time for you to puff yourself up a little bit and figure out how you can do it, how you can take up more space. Those are the two primary trauma responses. There's others. So there's fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and shut down. And there's really a lot more, but this is what you humans have, the buckets you have created. Fight, punching somebody in the face with conflict. Flight, running away. Workaholism, running marathon. Freeze is where you just don't do anything and you kind of stop, right? A lot of people who have health issues, who are stuck in bed for months and years, you are in a weird type of a freeze response where your body is asking you to go within and to figure things out. There's a lot of other reasons for having those types of debilitating injuries. So we're not saying that that's the only thing, but it is an example. Fawn. Fawn is like a puppy who is with a big dog and is scared, and it will roll over and offer up its belly to say, I am really vulnerable right now. And this is a very common people-pleasing tendency. And then there's just shutdown, where you just can do nothing. And shutdown is becoming more and more prevalent. Think of chronic fatigue. It's where your body says, I'm done. I have overgiven. I have used all 4 of these and I just can't do it anymore. And it is where your body is depleted, feels unappreciated, and is just fucking tired. Have you noticed that the world, even though you have so many more excesses, the health issues are getting worse? It's because the toxins in the environment, granted, but also the toxic lifestyles. There is no balance. There is very little inner world, and much of it is, come on, now. There is an impatience that is built around the simplicity of life these days. Amazon is an example. You don't even want to go to the store, or you have your food delivered because of the convenience. But maybe doing those things that just are part of life, making your bed, folding your laundry. Maybe there is chop wood, carry water. Maybe go back to living off-grid for a bit. Go on a vacation where you have no technology, no Wi-Fi, no cell, no laptop, nothing. No TV, no internet, nothing. And you are just living in the woods. See how much that stresses your body to not be actively connected to this stuff that we are using to share this. It's neither good nor bad. But if you are out of balance, like most of you are, you will notice how addicted you are to this, to constant stimulation, entertainment, distraction. When you don't have those things, when you have to watch the clouds go by and look at the ants, when you are forced back into that world, you see the world around you and the balance and harmony. The ants will carry dead beings, with many of them circled around. The vultures and the crows pay special homage to their fallen brothers and sisters. So there is a beautiful synchronicity in the animal kingdom, where really it is fight or flight, survive or die. It is constant fear. And even within those cultures, if you will, there's a reverence for the balance of life that humans have lost. And as you know, when humans are out of balance, the universe will help to get it back into where it's supposed to be, on the appropriate path of life. And when it's really out of balance, the earth wobbles because everybody's on the right side or on the left side. And what's it going to do? It's going to spin, right? So these are the natural outcomes of being out of balance and out of touch with who you are. And sadly, this will only, touch those who this touches, and those who really need to hear it the most are those who are not interested, right? You are spiritual beings having a skin suit experience, and it is really meant to be that. And by making science and money and ease and martinis and vacations and whatnot your God, you have lost touch with why you came. And it's not that it's good or bad, because this is your lived experience and the collective lived experience, but nonetheless, it does have consequences. If you pee into your water source, you will make it toxic, and at some point you will all die, because you can't drink from the water that is meant to sustain you, because your way of life has, from our perspective, demoralized it, deconstituted it, destroyed it. And then everything dies, the water source dries up, and after another big rainfall, right, it comes back, and it's fresh and it's clean, and whatever beings are left will then have access to that. So when you think of mass extinctions, it's more of a result of the human behavior than the mass extinction event itself. It is the natural consequence of imbalance. where wildfires run through a lot of areas because you have suppressed wildfires in the past. You have removed whatever the natural balance is, and you have created homes that are clustered together. And so when one area starts to burn, all of humanity in that area is at risk. It is the natural consequence of human behavior, not animal behavior. The wolves are not the problem. The mountain lions are not the problem. It's the humans, the two-leggeds, who create the path to destruction because they refuse to live in balance with the rest of nature, to live in harmony. And we are here just pointing out the realities of what COVID offered you, and you all collectively and individually rejected, our another included. Who here would literally be willing to live without the benefits of modern society? Now, if you utilize 1% versus 99%, you're still a part of the problem, right? Though the magnitude of your problem is different. So within this message, what is it in here that will help you to change yourself and how you see the world and how you live within the world and what your expectations are? As we have always said, the problem is not out there. It is within, and as you heal yourself, the outer world will heal. So what is it that you're doing to keep Mother Earth in balance right now, to live simply and humbly within your means and giving more to others than they give you, not because you benefit somehow, but because they are vulnerable and they can't do more. And you're willing to share what you have in a way that matters to keep others alive during this difficult time of drought. And then when the time of plenty returns, you all can rejoice in the beautiful community that you have created, the intentional communities, where you really do see that you are all one, and you create an intentional community where this is the basis of the love connection, the support, the integrity, and the friendship. We know that we preach to the choir, but nonetheless, this is where we are at today, and so it is. Namaste.